Today's episode will be with someone super special. They help organize all my companies, and he organizes through them through different cloud-based softwares and has a bunch of communication tools that he's going to help provide you some value on how he helps organize me, the visionary, which can be a mess sometimes. So, Hunter Zeman. So, how long you been with us, man?
I'm coming up on 2 years in March.
Gosh,
April, I think. Yeah, so a couple years though.
you've had the mustache for 2 years.
Well, I got rid of it for a little bit, but she came back. So yeah,
He's got to keep with the ladies. He's in the office,
missed it.
He's in the office. He's got to keep it looking good.
Yeah, for all the customers that come in. There we go.
So talk to us. What's like the three most important things that you do for Mac like right now, like because we got a lot going on.
Yeah. I'd say the biggest thing is just kind of being a middleman between our estimators, our project managers, you, our general manager, just kind of everybody in the company needs different things regarding jobs or, different documents, files, insurance stuff. So just gathering information for different people is probably one of the biggest things.
Whoa. How do you keep all that organized then? Because you're talking about, I know you work with me, you work with project managers, you're working with general managers, you're working with everybody. How do you keep yourself organized? Or what's the key to that? Like what can the listener maybe implement?
Just a good file structure on my computer that I use specifically. I just have different folders for, stuff I do with you, different folders for, our insurance stuff, our insurance requirements, jobs. I have breakdowns of, each job, the subcontract submittals, change orders, just to keep everything organized in that specific job and then into like the year of the job. So if it's 2022, got a folder for that. And just try to keep everything organized, labeled properly, so you can find it basically.
Yeah, wait, so do you label with like Henry's concrete job, or is there a number, or how do you because there's so many jobs, right?
What we do with the foundation software that we have, every job that gets generated has a job number. So it's basically a reference to the year the job started. And then just like, if it's a Mac job, it might be Mac storage, Mac STO. And that'd be like the file name for that job. Different jobs all kind of have the same structure, but just a little bit different. So,
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So it's like when you open your desktop in the morning, is it just like, I'm thinking of like my wife's, it's just like utter chaos.
Absolutely not.
How do everything's tidy? I can still see the background.
I don't have OCD, but I have a little bit of OCD for that. I have on the right side of my computer, it's all the like different applications. So Foundation, Procore, all that stuff's on the right side of the desktop. Then on the left side, I have the miscellaneous folders of the different jobs and stuff. Just because I can't do that where there's just files everywhere. It just throws me off, and you're never gonna find anything.
I'm the same way. I feel like when I don't get time, which is often, I end up throwing too many things on my desktop, and then I don't even want to open my computer. It just gives me anxiety.
I do that too. I just have kind of a miscellaneous folder, and if I don't have time, like you said, I'll just kind of throw it in there and then sort through it later at the end of the week or end of the day, and put it where it belongs.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So if someone was starting out and they got all this stuff on their desktop, what's a couple ways that we've implemented in Mac to help them? What are a couple softwares that we use?
Big one right now, or the one we mainly use right now, is Teams, because that way if you want other people to have access, you can grant them access to that channel. They can go in, add stuff, take stuff out. You can have stuff that's just for you, so you don't give anybody access. And then that way, if you're not at work or don't have your work computer, you can still sign into Teams and get those documents.
Yeah, dude, I love Teams. Just the fact that pulling it open on my phone and watching someone else edit the spreadsheet.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, all right, open this spreadsheet, and then I'll be able to walk through the spreadsheet with them in live time.
Yeah.
It's a really powerful
nice,
tool. Yeah. So I love it, but how do you misuse that, or what, because we've kind of ran into the issue of now it's a dumping ground.
Yeah, that is a problem. where people are just, they have a document, it needs to go somewhere, other people need to see it, they just kind of throw it in Teams somewhere, and there's not a good name on it. It's in an incorrect folder or a general folder where it's not specific to a certain job or a certain project, stuff like that. So I think just proper like labeling and getting it into the right folder right away will kind of lead you away from that of getting disorganized and making it a dumping ground.
Yeah.
And then having multiple different channels in your teams for, one for jobs, one for miscellaneous, one for, internal stuff as far as processes or, just miscellaneous documents.
Yeah. The one thing I love Teams, you can put all these documents onto it, but as you get to use it more, people are creating own channels and they're dumping their grounds in there. The problem with Teams is that like Monday.com, I don't know if you've looked into any of these, but I think maybe Asana's like this, and then there's Slack. You create a task instead of just having a channel for dumping ground for information. You create a task, and then these platforms say whose ball's in whose court.
Okay.
And I think kind of like our Procore software.
Yep.
Then there's no open-ended things ever sitting out there, and then everyone knows where it's at.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's a problem with Teams. I don't know if they'll implement something. I mean, that'd be a recommendation.
Nice,
you can pay Hunter for that. He'd probably like that. He'll take a couple million, but include like a organizational structure, because there's things we can't do in Procore, which Procore is I'll let you explain Procore because you spend a lot of time in there, and I think that is a really useful tool for what you do.
Yep.
And making sure whose ball is in whose court, because it's a freaking problem, man.
Yeah. Just assigning different tasks. It's a really good thing that Procore does have. So Procore is a construction management software. Everything from bidding on jobs, estimating jobs, to generating subcontracts, change orders, assigning tasks to people, whether it's subcontractors or people within your own company. And then they just have kind of a generic file structure that's built into every job, internal documents, subcontract documents, plans, different stuff like that. So we've kind of just recently gotten into using Procore. I've kind of burned through all the training, and now it's time to actually use it.
Yeah.
So it's a little bit different, but moving into that, I think it's going to be really good for us because everything will just be basically more accessible and more user-friendly than maybe, me generating the subcontract, sending it to the sub. It just does it in Procore, and automatically once it's signed, it goes, hey, this is signed, you're good to go.
Yeah.
So
it's astonishing, honestly, like Procore does. Like, how'd you live without it? And then, like, how did you know, like, where the subcontract was? Let's send 10,000 emails.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, can you edit this line or sentence? It's like, now we got to edit again. Now we need to go get it signed again. Like, such old school's way, even submittals on plans. I remember it's like, submit the paper towel holder. No, we don't like that one. Can you send us a new one?
And that's like heaven for me using Procore, using submittals, because before, project manager would come to me, we need to send this submittal out. And I go, okay, who are we sending it to? This person, this person, this person. And then I'd send it out. They'd all send me them back. I'd give it to the PM. This doesn't work. Send it back. Revise it. Blah, blah, blah. Back and forth. And eventually, it'd get done. But now with Procore, you can send out the submittal. If there's issues, you just send it right back to them.
Wow.
Without kind of me being the middleman. Procore is the middleman. So
and it like notifies you when they reviewed
exactly.
it, and it's now it's done.
You can see when they open it, when they send it back, when they sign it, if they add any revisions, different stuff like that. It's just so much easier.
I remember just like even the timelines, like they want you to order stuff right away, so it's like they know they need to get these submittals in and turned around. So because there's lead times,
absolutely
lead times. We use so many platforms. Man, I think I use like QuickBooks Projects. I've used CoConstruct. We've used Notify. I actually really like Notify. It was a great platform, did everything we needed, but it was like, it doesn't work. Yeah. It's a knockoff app, unfortunately. And, we use so many organizational softwares in our construction company. They just don't work. You get the software company like, say, Procore. Well, if they came out with an accounting add-on, accounting add-ons suck. They're good at communication. They're good at organizing a project.
It's the same thing the other way around, where Foundation had a
we just left
project
that
management called Project HQ.
Yeah.
That was kind of the same thing. Like it would have done everything we needed to, but it was slow. Half the time the stuff didn't load. You wouldn't be able to download documents. It was just kind of a shit show, and it never worked when we needed it to.
Right.
Which is why we switched to Procore, because everybody we've heard from, it works. It always works.
Yeah.
And it's just so easy to use.
Yeah. Architects are using it. Everyone's using it, and that's a reason. But never, it's always seems like if you got a really good accounting software, which we use Foundation, or we're using Procore, anytime they have an add-on for like trying to grab the client as an all-inclusive, it doesn't work.
No.
It is not what that company's focused on. It's like us trying to go like create a freaking masonry company, but we do concrete only. It's like, okay, well, yeah, we'll give her smoke.
Yeah.
And we'll use the same guys to do it, but
Might not be pretty.
Yeah, and it might not be like totally good, but we'll get it done.
Can build a wall, but be straight.
Yeah. So like I always think about like focus on your niche. Like these platforms need to they try to diversify and it just doesn't work. So like be weary if you're on a platform and like all of a sudden they're spreading it out and it's all inclusive and it's going to be the most beautiful thing ever and it's not. Yeah. It's not. And you probably can attest to that. Let's talk about the communication lines then. You were kind of explaining Procore because like it's so important with the customer, so important with the subcontractor, so important like all the way through the project. And you're in like the middle of how many conversations?
Too many. All of them.
So like how do literally Hunter's in every conversation in our company. So
CC'd in so many emails.
So what does that look like to you? What's the problem with it and what's the solve with it?
I think the problem is people just not communicating with the right person. Like how I'm the middleman. Somebody might tell me something or email me something that, it's good that I know that, but maybe the estimator needs to know it. Maybe the concrete PM needs to know it rather than me. And eventually that information gets there if it's through me or, the other person that needs to know that reaching out, but just kind of getting it right away to them, I think it's going to be more effective, right? So Procore is going to help with that as far as, with RFIs or, subcontractors communicating with us about their contract or the job, whatever, they're going to have access to certain information. So that's already kind of taken care of itself. As far as internally, I think just having kind of a better line of sight of who you need to communicate with, like if it's your boss you're communicating with. So knowing who your boss is, knowing who everybody's boss is, if you need to communicate about different things, that's where it's kind of a tricky one, right? Where who needs to know this? So I think just defining that for jobs or internal processes, defining that right away will kind of erase that problem.
Gotcha. So you're like super got to be reactive to these emails that come in.
Yeah.
Like you're waiting for your next task, like
to a degree.
Yeah. Gotcha. And so what's so important about like the PA position? Like we were lacking. We didn't even have your position.
Yeah.
Hunter, little tidbit, was in the field doing, I don't know, some half-ass carpentry work, we'd like to say.
A quarter, maybe.
You quarter-assed it? You didn't even whole-ass it? Like, if you're going to do it, whole-ass it.
I was giving it my all, but it didn't add up, so.
So Hunter had some other skills in communication and organization, which we later found out that he was in the wrong seat. And I think you got to identify that within some of your employees. We always like to give our employees a new opportunity or a better opportunity because we're a continually growing company. And I think that's why people come work for us. But, I think you're in the right seat. I think you seem to do well and organize, and it's like how your brain works. What were you in the PI test?
Oh,
I want to talk about these PI tests for just a second. We'll get in.
I was a guardian.
A guardian. So what's a guardian do? Like what's we'll explain how you can find this and implement this in your company.
I don't even remember. I like being given tasks.
Oh,
basically like a checklist, which is true. Like I'll keep myself busy, but doing work. But if there's stuff that's one of the things I personally struggle with is like prioritizing stuff I have to do.
Oh, okay.
So if people give me a task and say, hey, this needs to get done right away, and then this is on the back burner, done. I got it. Easy.
Eat the frog, man.
Yeah, but otherwise, like I'll just kind of plug away on whatever I'm working on.
Yeah.
Until there's a task right in front of me that absolutely needs to be done, which does happen with, like you said, being in the PA position. It's a lot of like, hey, I need this. Can you get it done? Yeah, sure. Yep. I'll do it.
No
done.
shit. Yeah. You need people like that in your company, and that's the way he likes working.
Yep.
So yeah, that's a good way to put it. So like the PI test, I want to talk about a little bit about this. Were you able to read up on like some other people's and like how our company works a little bit?
A little bit.
Because you're the communication guy, so you got to like communicate.
All of them. They haven't burned into my brain. I have bad eyes.
What do we got, Jen? The list of.
Oh, perfect.
Let's take a look at that. So we use this PI test is something I actually got to learn with Ryan Pineda at his last event. But we got to learn just kind of like how people like to be managed.
Mm-hmm.
He explains that. That's kind of did it seem like Guardian like fit your style?
To a degree.
Yeah, and
like this is their definition of it, right? So
yeah.
Guardian, unselfish and approachable with a preference for detailed skill-based work. So all true. Like the preference for detailed skill-based work doesn't really matter. I'll just whatever it is, I'll get it done, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it kind of fit me to a T.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, I think it gives the manager, even if it's not perfect, because I don't think that any of them are perfect, but we're all unique to ourselves, but it like gives the manager the ability to understand, maybe you're like how we give you information, we utilize you better now because now we know how you work, so super powerful tool. Go to, I think it's like PI, Google it.
Yeah, probably Google
predictive index.
Predictive index, yeah.
So check that out. If you're not implementing, if you have a bunch of employees, you might have people in the wrong seats. Like Hunter sitting out in the field, struggling with every day at quarter assing the work.
I did a lot of sweeping.
Because you like the task. So but it does give you a good example of how we brought Hunter into our office, and he now is like the communicator and the organizer of our office. So it's like, how powerful is that? You had a guy sweeping, and now he's moved up into a position where he literally knows what our company is doing from the minute the customer hits the door to an owner report or like whatever's going on to the direct customer relations and what's happening with the subcontractor. All of it in every project, which is almost like crazy that you know that much.
Yeah.
I don't even need to be here.
It was such a change for me too, because it would go from, my project manager on whatever job telling me, hey, you need to get this done. And in my head, I'm going, that doesn't even make sense. Why? And then now I'm like, okay, it's because the owner wanted a change order. They wanted something different, whatever it is. And now to kind of see it from that perspective, it's different. It makes it a little different and a lot more understanding of that position as well.
Yeah, you bring a level of calmness, but you like urgency. And I think like that'd be like your superpower, like, because you do get shit done.
Yeah.
Which is great. But you're never like, I've went over and talked. You never seem overwhelmed. I don't know what you got going on your plate. You're like steady with it, So like, I don't know whether you're showing that good, but I think I'm gonna reflect back to even like my wife and I visited you bartending one weekend, and it's like, I know you're getting your ass pounded back there, because I could watch it happening with how much shit was happening. But you got a level of calmness, and I think you slow it down to where it's like you still get everything done, but you just prioritize a little bit, and I don't know, it seems to work for you. You thrive in that situation.
Operate well under pressure.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, which is like, damn, you were pushing a broom. So like we were underutilizing your abilities for sure. And now we're, can help pay you more. And you know what I mean? Like it's just like such a flip of the script that you find that.
And that's one of the reasons that I chose back to just come work. And I knew, it wasn't necessarily a lateral move to come work as a laborer.
Right.
But I knew,
it was probably a downgrade, right?
Yeah, mildly.
Mildly.
But like I knew there was opportunity for growth. I knew we were a growing company,
Yeah.
and there would be positions that would pop up that would fit my skill set.
Yeah.
And, over time, whether it was 5 years or I think it was like 10 months I was working maybe as a laborer, and then that position opened up. So
yeah, and it changes quickly. Like, people adapt to us. People like following what we're doing, and they're like, how do I get into the company? I'll do whatever. It's like, well, I don't want you to do whatever.
Yeah.
I didn't suspect you to come to us as a labor position, but you took that leap of faith, and hopefully we can grow you. So
Yeah.
I think when there's opportunity, at least you can have a chance to grow yourself, which is good in any situation.
Absolutely.
So learn from that. Any company owner out there, make sure you're taking that PI test, because you might be underutilizing.
And it's really quick too. I think it took me not even 5 minutes to do it.
Yeah, it's like it asks you a question and you select all the deals.
Yeah, I think it's what do you think your expectations of your job is?
Oh,
yeah. The next one is what do you think your bosses think your expectations of your job are? And then
it's the same list of words.
Exactly.
And it's like a 6-minute test, I think, is what they quantify it as. So it's like so powerful. Yeah. I don't know. Like, when I was at this Ryan Pineda conference and they were explaining, this guy was like talking to my soul. When this Gary Harper guy, I was like, what in the hell is he talking about? Like, and then he's talking about processes right after that. And I'm like,
man after your own heart.
Well, I went there to learn about content.
Yeah.
That's really why we were there. And then, like, Jen and I were just down there, and they're like, well, we're having like a business day tomorrow. Do you guys want to come? It's like, yeah, we do.
Might as well.
Yeah. And like, even like right now, like this was like a month ago, we're implementing all these, little tweaks. And now the managers kind of know how to run themselves, so it's like such a powerful tool. So Gary Harper, look him up too. And I want to talk about some processes and systems, because Gary Harper was one of the reasons, like, he does what Hunter, because he's organized, he's got good communication skills, he's got unbiased of any position out there. He knows all the positions, but he is our process system documenter. So what comes with that? What is that, Hunter?
A lot of typing. It's kind of just a lot of questions to, whoever you're with at that time working on the process, which we've been working a lot with the project managers. Kind of setting a baseline of just what their basically job description would be, so their expectations of everything they're supposed to do, and then we've kind of been breaking it out into like less broad descriptions of how you do it, and like what to do and why you do it.
Why to do it.
Yeah, and just kind of documenting everything, so we have a roadmap of if we have a new hire for a project manager, basically give them a binder, and that's like everything they would need to know about that job and what we expect from them.
Wow.
So
yeah, I think Gary said it kind of like it's process, procedure, and policy. I think it's the 3 Ps. But like, why would you have a process for anything? Why wouldn't you just do it to your best of your ability and just do it?
I think kind of like I said, like the expectation of the company holding people accountable for different things. So if you're supposed to do X, Y, Z in any given week and you do X and that's it, then somebody can hold you accountable and say, hey, you need to be doing this because, we need this financial information. We need these reports to go out, whatever it is.
Because it's a chain reaction.
Yeah, exactly.
You got to have one to get
you set that expectation and they're not meeting it, then I think there'd be a problem there, because something's not getting done that is valuable enough that you put it in their process, that you put it in their job description.
Wow. Yeah, that's
I think
it's so important, because people don't understand right away in business. When you enter business, it's yourself, right? Like, it was just me. So I had all the processes in my brain. The problem is, as you realize as a business owner, you need to get out of your own way. You need to write down what you do in your head, and you got to get out of the, I'm going to do everything myself, because I'm the only one that knows how to do it, and I do it the best. You got to be willing to let others fail and improve themselves, but you can limit the amount they fail by being a mentor and writing down a process for them.
Yep.
And then it gives them a route. So when we talked about even flows, like don't even get into the process of how do you write a good email back to a customer that's having a hard time?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I start with the I understand your abilities. Here's the solution we're going to try and provide. Here's the timeline I'm going to give you when I review. Well, we just explained a process on how to reply to an angry customer.
Yep.
And then even by, let's say you do a subcontract, there's steps to putting subcontracts out. So, how long are these processes, and why, like, when you make one, how long does it take you?
It really depends on what it is.
Yeah.
Because like your example, like a subcontract process, I could type that out to a T of like where to click on the website on Procore to go to commitments, right? So I think it really depends on how detailed you want everything to be, and what it is.
Okay.
'Cause, creating a commitment in Procore, a subcontract, is a lot different than, formalizing plans or drawings and reviewing those, or different stuff. So I think it kind of depends. Some of them can take a longer time, because like you said, when it was just you knew everything and you knew how to do it.
Yeah.
But putting it down and typing it out is a lot different, because it's basically you have to set it up for someone else to do it. So
you don't even know this person.
Some of the stuff you don't even think about. You're just doing it, right? So you have to kind of think of it step by step and break it down. But then there can be too much breaking it down too, where it's like, that was useless that I read those first 4 steps. So
gotcha. Yeah,
they're all a
too
little
in
different.
depth,
Yep,
right? Like
exactly.
you got to have some ability. We can't teach an accountant how to be an accountant, but we can tell you the overall view of like when payroll's going to run, when checks need to go out by, when when invoices need to get paid by. We can give you the flow of things, but we can't give you technical data. You can drop down into the procedure part. I think I did the first one, and I'm not the guy to be writing these, but I like how to hook up a trailer. Every freaking time these concrete guys, I'd come back, and I'm kind of like particular. Like I got a little OCD in me, and I come back, the freaking chain things are in the snow, they're frozen, or they're full of mud, or they're whatever the case is. The freaking electrical plug-in more times you jam it in there, the more rocks get in there. It's just a freaking nightmare every time. So I literally made a process of when you unhook the trailer, you loop the things around the tongue, and you hang the thing upside down so water and shit doesn't get in the freaking electrical end. Just that one process alone saved me headaches.
Yep.
But that's in your head. It's not in your employee's head. So, I think what the process is too, it's like the more people you add, people think the more problems you get.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's more of an effect of, it just shows how weak your processes are. I mean, I don't know if you could tell me, if we added a project manager today, could we onboard them and get that amount of things that you need done in the timelines you do?
Probably not with the processes we have set up right now.
Well, where we're going. We're documenting the journey here, Hunter. We're not documenting the end result. The end result is, hopefully, it makes it a lot easier.
Yep.
And even for your job, we created your job out of thin air. So it's like, we didn't even know we needed it. And then we realized you're really good at it. And then you have this. So, processes and systems are so important as you scale a company.
Yeah.
Because how do you do things like Mac? We all do things a specific way. Every company has a specific way it runs. But if it's just owner ran and everything's ran through the owner, he's going to run out of steam, and you're just not going to be able to scale. You're just not. You just do everything yourself because you're the best and you know everything. And then hopefully people learn along the way and become your right-hand man and learn all the stuff, your processes. It's the slowest way of teaching, though.
Yeah.
So we document the processes.
And
you get to
set
organize
people up
Yeah.
for success, basically.
Yeah. Well, I think it sets your expectations. You talked about accountability.
Mm-hmm.
Because you can make all these processes. I think we talked about that. But if they're not doing them, I think you came to me. It's like we actually have your brother coming on here in a little bit too. I think we had a talk with you, and you were like, well, why is this not getting done? It's the process. And you're like, they're just not following the process. So I said, it's an accountability issue? And he's like, yeah. Or I think you replied, yeah. I mean,
Yeah, I think.
I just remember
There we
your,
go.
yeah, I just
Yeah,
remember your
so-
brother. You were like, I don't know if I can keep my brother accountable.
Yep,
Like,
and
how
it
do
was-
you want me to do that?
Yeah, because I think you were. We were talking about processes and me kind of holding all of the project managers accountable, and then I was just like, well, how am I supposed to keep my brother accountable? And Mike had a good point after the fact. He said, well, it's not about like discipline, it's just about accountability, right? So
Yeah.
if it's not getting done, you just need to inform somebody that, hey, this isn't getting done.
Yep.
So, but yeah, it's a weird thing.
And if you got to inform them every day, you probably got that person in the wrong seat anyway.
Yeah.
If you got to come ask somebody if they need to do their job correctly every day, either you got a systems problem or accountability issue. But I think a lot of owners have this same problem, dude. Like I can't get out of my own head. I can't get out of my own way. I can't let people grow. I got to do it all.
Mm-hmm.
And I got to micromanage you. You don't see me over there trying to like look over your shoulder. And if you're
No.
organizing it right, like, bro, I got better things to do.
Absolutely.
It's like, let me grow. I'll let you grow. And I think right away though, I struggled as a business owner, like for sure. Like I couldn't get out of my own way. I just couldn't do it. I had to tell people how to tie rebar. I had to tell people like how I wanted things done. I was super particular.
Well, and I mean, I can imagine that being a scary thing for you though, because you're letting go of these responsibilities that if they're not done right, it could lead to the business not being successful.
For sure.
So it's just, you're in your own head about, okay, well, if I give this to someone else, they're going to fuck it up and we're going to lose this job or we're not going to make any money.
Yeah.
Or,
Could have been detrimental at those times, you know? It's
Yeah.
like one job. It's like I could have lost everything. It's like I think I actually learned that from my dad. Like he had to be a part of everything. He had to tie the string lines, would never teach me.
mm-hmm.
Had to be the guy that freaking bull floated, wouldn't teach me. I was capable.
Yep.
I was ready to learn, but wouldn't do it. He had to be the guy because he didn't want us to screw it up ever. So finally, when he gave me that bull float, though, I do remember it's like I did take it with a lot of caution, and I did a really freaking good job. And then a year into that, it's like I was debatable better than him because I improved the waves. It's like you're pushing a bull float back and forth. Like, how hard can it be, right? Like, that's what I was thinking. But like my dad, like the apple didn't fall far from the tree in the first 5 years. I couldn't get out of my own way because I was learning from my dad. It's like, oh, no, I got to have people that just stay with me and learn from the way I do things. So freaking slow, though. Finally, when I was able to let go and let other people that were better at me organizing, doing the things, that's like, it wasn't even that long ago. It was like 5, 6 years ago. Like finally some things started like
Put
happening.
people in the right seats.
Yeah.
You could trust we're in the right seat, right?
Right. Yeah. Yeah. And, as a company grows so freaking fast, it's just like you got to change. Things still change and new opportunities come. And, it's like Hunter could be a project manager. Hunter could do lots of things. It's like we don't know where your next spot's going to be, but we trust to know what you're good at now, and you're doing a hell of a job what you're doing. So, so how in the hell did you get? Tell me a little bit about Hunter as a boy. Like what did you do? Like you started us as a laborer. So it's like, what got you to Mac's door? A little bit about your story, man.
I guess just kind of a typical childhood for a boy. I mean, just hang out with my friends, bike around, do stupid stuff. And I'd like to think I was a good kid. So I think that kind of helps with like the getting along with everybody and being approachable, like my PI says. I from East Side, graduated from there in 2014, went to UND, graduated in December of 2018 with a business management degree, and then continued work at basically my previous job before Mac in a higher position. It was a customer-facing role. They had a couple management changes, so I was looking for something different. My brother was working here, and I went to lunch with him and my dad one day, and I was like, yeah, I think I need a new job. And he goes, well, apply, we're hiring. I went, okay. And then like a month later I started. So it was, I mean, I've heard
Yeah.
all the good things from him at this point of, they're a family-oriented company. The culture's really good. They're growing. So even at that point, I was seeing all the Mack trucks driving around, a couple, obviously my brothers, but
Yeah.
started at Mack and, just got along well with everybody, loved the company. And
Yeah. No,
That's-
and that's why a lot of people come here, I
Mhm.
think. And if you're watching this, it's like if you want a place you can grow and you know construction, this interests you, it's like you can apply. You can go talk to Hunter today. You can go to our front office. His smiley face is up there. So don't hesitate if you're looking for new opportunities. We're always looking for really good people. We're in a good spot right now. I'd like to say we're in the hockey stick growth curve, but we're like right at the bottom still. Like we have so much upside potential.
yeah.
I'm an optimist, and I like to just reinvest and keep growing this thing if we can.
Absolutely. Yep.
So you walked us pretty fast through that though, like too fast.
Okay. What do you want to know?
Well, I don't know. You said like you were a good kid. I don't believe you to a point.
I was.
So like,
I was better than my brother.
so you referred to the PI test. We'll get to your brother in a minute.
Mm-hmm.
And but like, what if I knew Hunter as a little kid? What were you like?
Shy.
Shy.
Yep.
Okay.
I was really shy.
So you like podcasts?
My family would basically tell you I was mama's boy. So I had a single mother growing up. Spent time with my dad, but majority of the time with my mom.
Okay.
And I think she just tried to raise me with, I guess, good values and, being nice people, giving back, whether it's time or, donating, whatever. Tried not to get in trouble because I didn't want to disappoint her.
Did you ever get in trouble? You had to have gotten in trouble.
Not really.
You didn't
Nothing
like-
major when I was a kid.
You didn't like throw a rock at a car or something, or put sand on top of a car. Oh, geez.
Mhm.
I did all this stuff, but
No.
we were in a trailer park, so it was a little different.
I was too scared.
It's
of
too scared.
disappointing my mother.
Wow.
Yeah.
Is your mom like your idol then? Like, do you support her?
One of them. Yeah. She was a good mother.
It's good. What's her name?
Sherry.
Sherry. Appreciate you, Sherry. Made a good little man. So you never disappointed mom. So mom, what did mom tell you growing up? What did she want Hunter to be? What was her greatest outcome for you? Did she tell you to go to college? Did she
Wanted me to go to college, yeah. So she's been working at UND for quite a while. So
Okay.
I, got a little bit of a deal on tuition, and I've always wanted to go to college. And this might sound a little bad, but my dad is a carpenter by trade, right?
Okay.
And
Yep.
just like Cody was.
Yep.
And I would do random side jobs with them, whether it was pouring a garage slab or shingling, just random stuff to
Okay.
help out. And in my eyes, I never wanted to have to like break my back to earn money when I was an adult. So,
Smart.
which nothing wrong with that. I personally didn't want that for myself. So I realized that I should probably get an education and see what I can do with that and go from there. And I think it's worked out well so far.
Yeah. So how far okay, so you graduated in 14, I think you said,
Mhm.
from East Side.
Yep.
East Grand Forks. What did you want to be when you grew up? Like what was the deal when you left high school? Did you have any idea?
I had no idea what
You just didn't want to work in construction with your dad.
Well, I mean,
Or just not do that type of work.
Not that, yeah, exactly. So like, I just didn't want to have like a trade job or a physical manual labor job,
Okay.
right? I didn't really know what I wanted to do. I started at UND, and the first year or two got just kind of my generals done, and then a few business classes, and then picked business management because it's pretty broad. As far as, you get a little bit of HR, you get a little bit of marketing, you get a little bit of accounting stuff. So just kind of wanted to roll with that. And like I said, kind of see where it would take me.
Well, so was it UND? Is that what you said?
Mm-hmm.
UND. Okay. So I went to UND too. And did you graduate the business management?
Mm-hmm.
Jeez. I'm 12 credits away yet, but I'm going to get there. probably not this lifetime, but like next time. I'm
Online
gonna finish
classes.
college. Yeah.
Online classes. There you go.
You know, I did think about that in COVID when it was like super easy and like the professors were kind of relaxed on it.
Yep.
I never did it. I got my transcripts and everything from I had UND and NDSU. I think it was like 12 or 15 credits, depending upon which route I wanted to go.
Yep.
They would graduate me. You know, I don't know. Not worth it anymore. I think it's fine. So what did you leave? It was management or just business?
Business management.
Business management.
Yep.
That's exactly what I was going for too. So you had no idea during then. What did you work any jobs then, or like how did you support yourself? Like, did mom help get you through, or like?
No, I the first couple years I had like scholarships and grants that I was able to use, so didn't really pay anything. And then the last couple of years, I took out a little bit of loans, paid some of it off, but I worked part time during the school year and then full time over the summer.
What'd you do?
I was loading trucks, like parts trucks, for a dealership in town. Yeah.
Parts trucks.
Mm-hmm.
My dad does that today. And then you did that in the summers, or did you do like you would go full time in the summers and part time?
Yep, full time in the summers.
So you're supporting yourself,
Trying to.
like you're paying your own like car insurance and stuff. And
Yeah, I lived with my mom for a couple years, and then a couple years I lived, I guess, not with her. So yeah,
some buddies?
rented out with some friends, and then just worked whenever I could.
Wow, that's what I did for my dad. I was working part time, full time for him. At the age of 14, I was like fully off their payroll. You know, pretty much.
Yep.
The only way I was ever going to be able to buy cars if I did it myself.
Yeah.
And I just like wanted, like, we live such the frugal lifestyle. It sounded like you were probably on the frugal side too a little bit.
Yeah.
And I just wanted a lot out of life because maybe I couldn't have it as a kid or something. Maybe you want what you can't have type thing. And I just remember working my ass off to frickin'. I remember my dad, my graduation gift. He freaking co-signed a loan on a scooter for me. Literally a $5,000 scooter. He's like, this is like, he never co-signed anything because he thought for sure I was just going to abandon the payment and run with the scooter. It's like, Dad, I'm going to pay it back. You're literally my freaking income.
Yeah.
No, he co-signed it. And like, that was a big deal to him. That was a really big deal to him. So, you know, I can, it's cool that you were able to kind of just bring yourself up. Cause I always think the people that learn that in college, when you're not on, you know, we hardly have any college kids. We're in a college town where we live in Grand Forks. We have no college kids that even want to work. I don't know where they're getting the money. I honestly don't, or what they're living off of. But parents are raising them different now. Like, they must be fully supporting them. That's the only way I can think about it. I don't know.
That's got to be. I mean, of the people that I know that are UND students right now, I mean, I know them from working at the Spud.
Yeah.
Like my side job, right?
Yeah.
And they're all working and they're supporting themselves like you or I did or whatever.
Okay.
But, there's definitely like a class of them that just kind of are probably supported by mom and dad and
not admitting it.
Whatever. And
Well, it's like we used to have even 5 years ago, we'd have college kids. But like every year, it's a little bit less, less. Now we're like attracting the tradespeople to us because like more kids like you. Like, I don't want to break my back when I grow up. My parents to go work a plumbing job, to go work a concrete job, freaking pays pretty well. I mean,
absolutely.
And you know what? In your mid-20s or till mid-20s, maybe that's fine if you do that type of work. You can learn a lot of management, a lot of skills, and make a shitload of money, man. If they want to put their head down for 5 years out of college, and maybe make your own business about it or whatever. But I think more kids just, these trades are like, everyone, what is the biggest, all our subcontractors, us, it's like, it's always help.
Everybody's hurting. Yep.
Everyone's hurting on help, and no one wants to be in these trades. So I think it's a freaking real problem, man. And now these kids aren't having to work. Of course, everyone like somehow boost of money through COVID here. Everyone getting free checks. Everyone's like in I call it living fat mode, where like, in business, when you're living fat, it's like when the money's coming in good,
Yep.
and then all of a sudden, like, the money slows down, and then you realize how fat you are, and then you're like, shit, I got to trim down. Like, we got to trim and lean down, run leaner and meaner.
Yep.
So you kind of got to lose the fat, and it's the same way in business. I think the same way applies for anybody. But so that's good. So you went out of college then right into this. You were the parts stocking, like you just kept doing that then full time.
Yeah, so they kind of transferred me to full time, like I was doing in the summers.
Yeah.
And I would be like a lead. So we primarily load the trucks like on the not the night shift, but like once they're done selling parts, like 5 o'clock.
Yeah.
Right? So we'd work till 9, 10 o'clock, depending on how busy it was.
Wow.
But I like kind of led, and we had a bunch of college kids working there because it was decent money and easy hours.
Yeah.
Right? They would work 5 hours a night, whatever. But I was a lead for, I think it was 6-7 months. And then they had a position open at basically a sister store in their,
Oh, sure.
They do oil changes, like their oil change bay.
Okay.
A service writer.
Yep.
So I went there. Prior to that, I'd been doing a ton of like bunch of customer service jobs. Like the previous 2 jobs I had were all dealing with customers and stuff. So I was doing that. And then maybe 6 months after doing the oil change stuff, I was just in their regular service department. So you come in and need tires, you talk to me, and then I get the car to the technician. So,
Wow. Okay.
so quite a change of pace coming here where I don't have to talk to any customers.
Oh yeah.
When I was the laborer anyways. And, it was a lot, it's like slower pace, but still fast pace, if that makes sense. Like
yeah.
a car comes in and they want it back at the end of the day. You got to bust your ass to make sure it gets done.
Gets done right. Got it. That's cool. Well, I think you can probably value good skills you learned probably while you were there. And I think in any job you can learn something from. And so when you came here, you're working for Mac as a broom pusher. What was going through your head then? Were you happier then than you were at your other? Because it was
in a way, yes. But also I wasn't really fulfilled. So like the other job we were working on cars, you were able to like not necessarily make the customer happy, but get something done for them, right?
Satisfaction.
Yeah,
gratification.
and that was something where on the jobs we were working on for Mac, you'd see it, but it just kind of took a lot longer because you're not putting brakes on a car, you're building a gas station or
How did you go?
Like that.
How did you go from your broom position to your position now? I don't even know the story.
So they had the position opened up, I believe it was in March of last year.
Okay.
And I think I spoke with Mike, our GM, about it, and they had an external hire, so didn't get the job. But I was like, that's all right.
You got pushed to the side. That's right. I think I remember.
And then he
overlooked again.
And then he quit, and basically I took it over from him. Basically, they asked me, "Are you still interested?" And I said, "Hell yeah!" So
boom.
Yep, moved me into the office, and then it was a little bit of a learning curve, but at the same time, I was really comfortable there because it was a lot of computer work, and I've done a lot of that at the previous job. So
what's your someone owns a business out there. Maybe it's a contracting business starting up, they're starting to do commercial work, and what's your biggest advice? Like, you obviously operate all these systems, and you operate the communication lines, and you organize us to be kind of operate how we are. You know everyone's conversations. What's kind of like your advice? Like, would you give someone that if they're trying to get in, they don't have that position, because we never had that position, and we moved into it. So what's your advice, I guess, for a business owner that maybe instead of them doing everything, find yourself a PA or someone who's organized and enjoys doing this?
Yeah, and I wouldn't even say it has to be a PA. I mean, even if it's just an administrative position.
Okay.
Because that person is going to be oriented about organization, and then basically organization and communication, right? So you set up that process of where they're going to, put files or who they're going to communicate to. And once that's set up for them, I think, it's going to make it a lot easier as far as they're kind of the filter of information that gets traded between people, whether it is, files, documents, or emails. So I think an administrative position is definitely nice within a company. I think we have a couple now where, I'm more focused on the jobs, and then we have Madison, who's focused on like the human resources and helping Larissa with accounting and stuff like that. So
Gotcha.
There's two sides to the one we have it, but we communicate a lot within ourselves about, where different invoices are going to go, where this email is supposed to end up. And
Yeah. Just organization
Absolutely.
of knowing everyone's where they're at and what they're doing and what they got going on. So, so if you don't have a administrator or a project administrator like Hunter, he obviously, we needed the organization within. Sometimes project managers, sometimes superintendents, foremen. These guys can be very unorganized and they just need a little help.
Yeah.
And we realized that implementing systems and holding people accountable, and organizing ourselves with softwares like Teams or there's lots of softwares out there. We use Procore within our construction company as our main source of tool, our main tool. But if you don't have some of these tools, make sure you're grabbing on. You guys, it's adapt or die society. You have to adapt onto this technology. Don't be shuffling papers. Don't be writing out paper receipts. Don't be, it's DocuSign. It's app-based. So freaking important because it streamlines everything, makes everything less effort, and we get more done in less time. Hunter, what you got?
I was just going to
wrap her up, buddy.
Thanks for having me on.
You got it. What were you going to say?
I was just going to say, and
can't leave us on the cliffhanger.
Everything's accessible. So if you use DocuSign, you can access that. If you're in Teams, you can access it from anywhere. As long as you have internet. Same with Procore or most of these like file sharing services. You always have access to them, and that's the biggest thing. Is if Marc's out in Vegas on vacation,
that
never happens. Then he can pull up a file and say, "Hey, this needs to get done," or "Oh, this plan's approved. We're good to go." Whatever it is. So
yeah, that is true. Yeah, no matter where you're owner of a project or a question, the flow is good. Hunter, thanks so much, man. I think people will find some value on helping to get their systems built, get their organization of their firm, because it adapts to anyone. The coffee shop,
Absolutely.
the contractor, to the car place, doesn't matter. They all have these same things. So if you guys want to find Hunter or you want to apply, maybe you can come to our office. You will see his shining face. And sometimes he grows out his mustache longer than others. So sometimes you just want to check back with him and see what he's got going on that week. So Hunter, thank you so much.
Yep. Thanks for having me on, Marc.
See you guys in the next one.